The latest chapter in the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World Rebirth, is set to hit theaters this July, and I, for one, am very excited. But will the new movie actually be good? That's the question I want to answer in today's video. So today I'm going to be talking about just the overall state of the Jurassic Park franchise and some of the things that I hope the new Jurassic World movie does to hopefully satisfy Jurassic Park fans and also just general moviegoers in general. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So one of the main things I want to talk about in this video is the Jurassic World trilogy, the past 3 Jurassic Park films, and some of the mistakes they've made, and hopefully the things that the new movie can do to remedy these mistakes. Now, let's talk about each of the movies specifically. So, starting off with the first Jurassic World, this movie was just a very fun and enjoyable summer blockbuster when it first came out. The characters were likable, and the movie had lots of just very fun dinosaur action. The final battle of that movie in particular, in my opinion, is one of the most fun dinosaur fights in any movie ever. It's just so cool. The Indominus Rex was a genuinely menacing dinosaur villain, and the human characters, again, while they're maybe not the most well-written and developed, they're still fun. And yeah, the movie as a whole is just a very enjoyable blockbuster, like I said. And when it came out, it made a butt-ton of money. In fact, it's still one of the highest-grossing movies of all time. And when it came out, I think for the most part, the majority of people really did seem to like it. There were some people online that said that they didn't like it, but for the most part, it was general positivity when that movie came out. It wasn't until the next 2 sequels when the negativity really kind of started to seep in. And it kind of really started with the next movie, Fallen Kingdom. When Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom came out, a lot of people really didn't like it for many different reasons. I think the main one was the fact that the plot was really overly complicated and contrived. There was a lot of very goofy and cheesy moments sprinkled throughout it. And it overall was just not as good of a movie as Jurassic World, and of course, nowhere near as good as the original Jurassic Park. A lot of people didn't like the direction that the story went, some of the weird reveals with like the human clones and the laser-guided Indoraptor and stuff like that. Just a lot of really goofy, silly stuff in that movie a lot of people didn't really like. But there were some people that enjoyed it. I myself, I really liked, kind of the darker and more gothic feel that movie had, and also the opening scene was really well done. It felt like the original Jurassic Park. The dinosaurs were really frightening in that scene. And there were lots of scenes throughout that movie that were really well done. Like, there was a very good sense of suspense throughout that whole film. And I definitely don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of people say, but I do understand some of the criticisms. But yeah, a lot of people really didn't like Fallen Kingdom when it came out. A lot of people said it was by far the worst Jurassic Park movie, but there was a lot of people that said that they were excited to see where the story would go after Fallen Kingdom. Because, at the end of Fallen Kingdom, the dinosaurs were released out into the mainland, and a lot of people were excited to see where the story would go from there. Unfortunately, though, when Jurassic World Dominion came out, even more people didn't like that movie. In fact, it had an even more negative reception than Fallen Kingdom somehow. Yeah, no, Jurassic World Dominion, I've heard so many people say they absolutely hate this movie. I think I even heard one person say that it was the worst legacy sequel, ever made, and one of the dumbest movies of all time. I think that's a little extreme. And again, just like Fallen Kingdom, I don't hate Jurassic World Dominion nearly as much as a lot of other people, but I do understand a lot of the criticisms. The main thing a lot of people complained about with Jurassic World Dominion was the fact that the movie focused on locusts instead of dinosaurs, even though, there were dinosaurs all over the world. For whatever reason, we were back at an isolated location trying to solve a mystery surrounding genetically modified insects rather than dinosaurs. They did bring back the original characters from the original Jurassic Park, and although that was a lot of fun, and in fact the movie as a whole was quite a lot of fun with some fun dinosaur action and some cool new imagery that we hadn't seen before. Overall though, a lot of people just really didn't like Jurassic World Dominion, even though it did have a few redeeming elements, at least in my opinion. Just a lot of people really didn't like it. Overall, I think the biggest issue with Jurassic World Dominion, and the main thing that I hope the new movie fixes, is the fact that the dinosaurs just don't feel as scary and threatening as they did before. In the original Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs truly did feel like dangerous, wild animals, things to be feared. And there were so many really suspenseful scenes in the original Jurassic Park. While technically Jurassic Park is an adventure movie, there were times when it really felt like a horror movie, especially in scenes like the T-Rex breaking out of the paddock and attacking the tour vehicles, and the scene where the velociraptors are looking for the kids in the kitchen. These are very, very scary and suspenseful scenes, and they really lean more into the horror aspect. And that's part of the reason why they've become so iconic over time, just because of how scary they were. And again, this is something that I think the new movie really needs to lean into. The dinosaurs need to feel threatening and dangerous again. Because, you know, if the dinosaurs don't feel scary, there's not really any suspense, and therefore the story really isn't that interesting. Another big thing that the new movie needs to do in order to be successful, and this isn't just true for the Jurassic Park franchise, but just all movies in general, the human characters need to be well written and likable, or at least one of those things. And overall, it looks like, at least on the surface, this will be something that the new movie will be doing, because the movie is written by David Koepp, who wrote the original Jurassic Park, and of course the original Jurassic Park has great human characters that have become iconic over time, and he also wrote the Lost World Jurassic Park, which, although not being as good as the first movie, does have Roland Tembo, which is a character that Jurassic Park fans have commonly regarded as being one of the best human characters in the whole franchise. And also, all the new human characters are being portrayed by very talented actors like Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, and I do not remember the other guy's name, but he voiced the Prowler from the Spider-Verse movies. He's a really good actor, so there's good talent both in front of and behind the camera when it comes to the human characters. And also, going back to my earlier point about the dinosaurs feeling threatening and scary and the movie needing to feel suspenseful, the director, Gareth Edwards, he's made some very scary and suspenseful movies in his career. Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is a movie he made, and that movie feels more like a real war movie than a traditional Star Wars movie. And also, he did Godzilla 2014, which is probably one of the most suspenseful and scary Godzilla movies ever made. Something especially that he does a really good job of in the Godzilla 2014 movie, he does a really good job at conveying scale. Like in Godzilla 2014, you really feel the weight and the scale of Godzilla and the other monsters in that movie. And so I have really good confidence that he's going to make the dinosaurs, at the very least, have a menacing presence to them. Also, if we're just going off of the scenes in the trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth, there are several scenes that look like they're going to lean more into the horror aspect. All the scenes with the new D-Rex in particular are looking like they're going to be very dark and very menacing. And so overall, all the signs are pointing toward Jurassic World Rebirth being a pretty good and fun summer blockbuster. And I do think it will probably be one of the better Jurassic Park sequels. In fact, I'd say it has the potential to be the best Jurassic Park movie since the original. I think we'll have an alien Romulus on our hands. It looks like they're going to return to form and give us a lot of the stuff that we liked about the original, as well as having just enough new ideas to make it feel fresh. And overall, it looks like it's going to be returning to its more horror-oriented roots, which will make the movie feel suspenseful. And also, I think the human characters, at the very least, are going to be fun and likable, so we won't want to see them get ripped apart by dinosaurs, and so we will actually be invested in the story, and it looks like the movie is shaping up to be, at the very least, a fun summer blockbuster that we can all go see this summer. And with all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.